let's be real. Confidence is the number one skill that separates closers from everyone else. And most people get this wrong. You think confidence is something you can fake by just sounding louder, walking better, acting more sure, pretending until it's real. It's not true. Fake confidence is actually very fragile and it falls apart the second something doesn't go your way. And after being in the high ticket sales and online money space for the last 2-3 years, I learned that real confidence, the kind that makes you calm on calls, it's actually built, not born. I used to overthink everything 2-3 years ago. I'd have analysis paralysis, I'd second guess everything. And once I cracked that confidence and flipped it on its head, I went from 0 to 40K a month in under a year. And I'm still in this industry to this day. So in this video, by the end of it, you'll know exactly how to build unshakable confidence. That way you don't have to fake it anymore and you can actually build it. And that way it actually sticks. Now, the first thing you have to understand is if you don't feel strong outside of sales, you'll never feel strong inside of it. You can't expect to show up confident on sales calls if your body feels drained, if it feels stiff or sluggish. And your energy and tonality and focus are directly linked to how you treat yourself outside of your work. And most people try to build mental confidence by sitting at a desk all day in the dark. It's just not going to happen because at the end of the day, your body and your mind, it's the foundation for whatever happens in life. And if you're moving daily, if you're training in the gym daily, if you're eating clean, if you're getting 8 hours of sleep every single night, your voice automatically carries more authority. So for context, when I started off in high ticket sales from 0 to 10K a month, I used to be the guy that was stuck in my room with all my windows and blinds, just taking sales calls and learning the game. And don't get me wrong, that was definitely beneficial and it helped me go from 0 to 10K really fast. However, I ended up burning out, and I lost a lot of confidence. And that is the last thing that you want. And as soon as I fixed my sleep schedule, I fixed eating clean, I started, exercising or going for walks every single day, my confidence just turned on another level. And I realized that I didn't even need a lot of sales skills. Just that authority and confidence in my voice was able to close people at a much higher close rate. So the main takeaway here is confidence comes from what you put into your body and your environment, not just your skill set. So train your body and your voice will follow at the end of the day. But physical strength, mental strength, that's just the foundation. The next layer comes from reps. And not like the gym reps, it comes from the reps that you do on calls. And what you have to understand is you don't get confident before you do something. You don't get confident before you take action. You get confidence from taking action. What do I mean by that? Most of you watching this video will wait until you feel ready before you start something, before you start sales calls, before you go and start that business. But the truth is, you will never feel ready until you actually start. And confidence is just a byproduct of repetition. For example, when you're doing sales calls, the first 10 calls are going to feel extremely awkward. So just prepare for it to be awkward. The next 20 will be a little bit better. The next 30 will be a little bit better. And by call 100, you're going to be a lot more fluent. And every repetition replaces fear with familiarity. And for context, I used to be this guy. So 2-3 years ago, when I was taking my first ever sales call, I still remember this very vividly. And honestly, it's pretty embarrassing. I remember the guy gave me an objection and he said, "Hey Kashi, I need to go chat to my partner about it. I got a partner objection." That was the first objection I ever got, for those of you that want to know. And me back then, I just got so scared and so thrown off and so attached to the sale. I basically said, "No worries, man. Like, feel free to go chat to your partner. We can just book in a follow-up call and we'll go from there. Like, don't worry at all." Of course, I didn't close the deal. Luckily enough, he actually closed in the follow-up, which was super cool. But that's not the point. That having that mentality and having that objection handling would not have helped in the long run. So the main takeaway here is confidence is built by actually jumping into fear, and confidence is built by repetition and doing the same thing over and over again. Sweet. However, something that you have to understand is even if you're skilled, and even if you do repetition, there's one habit that destroys confidence faster than anything else in life, and that's comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy. Some of you may have heard that. You can't win your race while watching someone else's lane. Because comparison is like the silent killer of self-belief. And what you'll do is you'll see other reps on your offer. You'll see other students in your program. You'll see your friends closing deals, posting wins, sharing screenshots, and you start thinking, "I'm behind. I'm nowhere where these people are." You're not behind. You're just comparing your starting point to someone else's midway point. So for context, when I started off, I started at the age of 18. And you can imagine being young, being very impressionable. I'd look at people that were older than me, that have been in the industry for 2-3 years, but in the industry, and I'd see them making 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, and I'd start asking myself, damn, like, I'm not where I want to be. Like, these guys are doing so much better than me. I'm so bad. Like, I don't have it in me. Maybe high ticket sales isn't for me. Imagine if I said that. But that's just the wrong mindset. What I have to realize is, dude, you're 18, right? I'm 18 years old. The people that I'm comparing myself to have been in the industry for 2 to 3 years. Of course they're going to be better. And even if you're comparing yourself to someone who started off at the same time as you have to understand that they probably would have put in double the effort as you. They might have been naturally more gifted than you. And at the end of the day, they just wanted it more, right? You have to just accept these things. So there's no point comparing yourself to other people. Just use it as inspiration and focus on your own lane. So yeah, main takeaway here is stop comparing, and once you do, that final step to unshakable confidence will actually happen. So yeah, main takeaway here is track your own metrics, focus on your own lane. The only scoreboard that matters in life is your progress over your time. So comparison kills focus, and focus builds confidence. But once you stop comparing, the final step to unshakable confidence is this. It's keeping promises to yourself. And honestly, this is very underrated, and it's something that I learned very late into my journey. Every time that you do what you say you're going to do, your self-trust multiplies. Your confidence multiplies. But every time you don't do what you say you're going to do, it compoundly decreases, right? It's basically a downward spiral. And confidence isn't a feeling. It's basically a relationship with yourself. If you're constantly breaking promises, you skip your calls, you skip your commitment to the gym, you skip your goals, you have cheat meals, you're starting to distrust your own word. But when you keep promises, even the smallest ones, you build an identity that says, I actually followed through. And that's where true confidence comes from. I'll give you a real life example of this. A lot of you go to sleep the night before and you say things like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to make my bed and go to the gym and I'm going to skip breakfast and I'm not going to scroll on Reels and then I'm going to spend 2 hours doing a deep work session. You say all these things the night before and you go to bed thinking that's going to happen. And when you wake up, if you're being honest with yourself, you wake up, you stay in bed and oversleep for 2 hours, you scroll on Reels the first time you wake up, you have a junk meal first thing in the morning and you skip the gym. You've already had 4 to 5 micro losses before you even started the day, right? So how are you going to expect to have confidence when you can't even trust yourself, when you're not even doing the things that you said you would do? And that's what's super important about life and online business as a whole, is how self-developed you are, how congruent you are, is directly related to how much money you're going to make. So the main takeaway here is if you can keep promises to yourself and you keep on fulfilling on them, you will have a lot of success in life. And that's not just online business, that's literally anything. Because the moment you can trust yourself, you can pretty much sell anything. So yeah, that is how you go from being a nervous wreck to a natural, confident, smooth talker and business person, from being doubting yourself to being dominant as a remote sales rep. And if you're ready to kind of build that confidence, literally go and implement all the steps that I told you. And even if you implement 50% of it, you will see a dramatic improvement in your life, not just in online business, but outside of it. But yeah, those are my main takeaways on how to build confidence. I hope you guys found some value. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.